Hello, this is Christina Heslink, and welcome to my tutorial on how to use Padlet in the classroom. If you've never heard of Padlet before, it's a virtual bulletin board that basically takes what you're already doing in your classroom and puts it online for students to access outside of the classroom. So if you're an English teacher working on graphic organizers, it allows students to create them using their one-to-one devices. Or if you're a teacher that's having students brainstorm in a collaborative session, they can create a wall with their thoughts that they can then access from home. On the teacher end, it's great for resource and development, so you can post images or links to websites that you'd like to access later for lesson planning. Come on with me to padlet.com, where we're going to talk about how to log in and how to use the technology tool. Okay. Hopefully you have navigated to a screen that looks like this, the Padlet welcome screen. We're going to go ahead to the top right corner and we're going to log in. One of the great things about Padlet is that you can use your FCPS schools account to log in. So we're going to click that red button. This is going to save you and your students a lot of time because it's going to link through FCPS schools. And then you're going to be on the dashboard page. And on the dashboard page, which you can see is pretty simple, at the top we have a navigation bar that says make a Padlet in pink, join a Padlet if you want to see what your students are doing, or if you want to join something that a co-teacher made, or a gallery wall if you would like to get inspiration. On the left-hand side, there's another navigation panel that allows you to organize by the most recent templates that have been created, the ones that you've made by yourself, or even just the ones that have been shared with you. We're going to go ahead and make a Padlet, so click on the pink button, and we're going to be redirected here to the options that we have for creating our new Padlet. You can start with a blank Padlet, and there are lots of different options, and the basic difference between them is how the information is organized and how much students can move it around. Or you can go down here to the bottom where there are templates, like down here on the left, the KWL chart would be great for classrooms, the storyboard would be great for classrooms, or even this org chart would be good for working on characterization, maybe in an English class. But we're going to go up here and we're going to make a canvas today. So you're going to go to underneath the green option to where it says select and click on that. And every time you create a new canvas or a new wall, it's going to be preloaded. But don't fear, over here on the right hand side is our navigation bar where we can change everything. And we can add a description. And then if we want to go down here and look at the wallpaper, maybe we're not a fan of this wallpaper that we have right now, we can click on more, which is on the bottom right. We can look at lots of templates that Padlet has for us, or you can add your own from your own image gallery. I prefer to pick something that is pretty basic, that allows students to work to really pop instead of something that's busy, but that's up to you. So when you're done picking your wallpaper, you're going to come back up to the left-hand arrow of that navigation and click on it. And then at the bottom you can see you can change the post color, you can change the font styles, and you can also add icons. Now, one thing that I really like, especially because we're working with high school students, is this profanity filter. I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and it's not going to allow them to put profanity. You can also decide whether your students are going to be allowed to add comments, which I do want, or reactions, which are not necessary. So once we've done all that, we're going to go back up to the top right. We're going to click Next. This is the privacy settings. These are really important in FCPS. FCPS technology policy for this program says that you have to have it either be secret or private. You cannot have it be public because the student names will be associated with it. And then you have to decide what are you going to allow students to do. So if you click on this button, you can allow them to read or write or moderate. I'm going to stick with writing, but moderating is good if you want them to be able to add and delete information that others have created. You can also add contributors here, like your co-teachers. I've gone ahead and jumped us into a Padlet template that I'm going to be using with a world history class so that I can show you how students would use this during collaboration. So if you follow me down here to this pink button on the left-hand side, right-hand side, and you click on it, you'll notice that it turns into a pencil, which means that anywhere you click, a little box will pop up. You can go ahead and add comments, or you can choose to pick a file that you would like to attach. You can also add a link from a website if you'd like to link information like an article. Students can go ahead and search Google Images or videos or GIFs to add content from the web. They can also go ahead and draw a picture or add a map if you're working in a history class. I'm going to go ahead and delete this comment because I want to show you how to share a template like this or remake a template like this so that you can have multiple copies. So up on the top, you click the remake button, and then you can tell it exactly what you want it to remake. So I tend to click all of the options because I've designed something that's pretty basic, and then I press submit, and now I have 2 copies of this that I can use for use in my classroom for maybe an activity where I want students to all start in the same place but then have the option of moving separately. Here's an example of what a Padlet wall might look like after your students are done working with it. Notice that I have the ability when I click on these to move them around, to organize them on top of one another. There's a lot of flexibility with this program. So hopefully you're really excited about Padlet and you're ready to get started using it in your classroom. There's one last thing you need to know: how to share your templates with your students. So up on the navigation bar on the right-hand side, there's a little button that says share. If you click on that, you will notice that again, we're back in this share button from our setup. If you click on the top right where it says share, export, and embed, you have options for how to do this. Most of us will use FCPS Google Apps for Education, so we can share on a Google Classroom, or you have this QR code here at the top. The last thing I want to remind you is that if you're using this in a classroom, all of your students need to be over 13 or have parental permission according to FCPS guidelines, and that in order for students to use this, they do not need to create their own account, but that they may have better functionality if they do. If you have any questions, please come see me in the library. I would love to talk to you about how you're going to use Padlet in your classroom.